Hi, I'm Brett from Metropole. Would you like to take a peek behind the curtains to understand what goes on at our annual Wealth Retreat? This year's Wealth Retreat on the Gold Coast has now been and gone after many setbacks due to COVID and lockdowns, but the lessons still remain. It's not only what you learn from the world-class presenters that are on stage, but also what we learn from other guests. After all, how often do you find yourself in a room full of successful people with like-minded thoughts and also that walk or talk the same language? Opportunities like this are just few and far between, and it's not to be missed. Well, I could go on all day talking about, the 5-day event and what happened on each particular occasion. I've shortlisted the 3 most popular takeaway points that I took away and many of our clients took away as well. Many think it's a property event, but you'll soon find out it's much more important than that, and there's so much more to it. So the first lesson I took away was that creating wealth is a process, not an event. When I was starting out my wealth creation journey, I was waiting for something big to happen, maybe a lotto win or flipping a property, something to propel me into becoming successful and wealthy. But in reality, that's never going to happen. What we talked about doing instead is actually understanding what it is we'd like to achieve and putting a roadmap, a plan, and a blueprint in place by understanding where you are now and where you'd like to be and the changes you need to make that are necessary. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a long-term process, and you need to continually chip away and do the little things. That was really important, and that led into another session we talked about time and task prioritization. Like me, you've probably done a lot of time management before, but the big thing that tied it all together was Michael talking about task prioritization. Actually grouping your tasks into A, B, C, and D class activities as far as your income goes and your dollar productivity goes. Obviously, your A activities are going to give you the most bang for buck and the most income, but they're also few and far between. They're big events that create those type of things. Whereas the D class activities are potentially things you could look at moving on or doing less of to make the most of your time. Tying that in with the session from Mark Creedon, from our business coach, talked a little bit about the time management and how we can actually relate those tasks and actually make it more productive and have a more productive week in our calendars. Some really, really important points, and I know a lot of business owners got an exceptional amount from that session. Many people got an extra day a month, as Mark likes to say. The last thing we talked about was our wealth thermostat, and I think this is really, really important to understand. I've talked a little bit about a financial thermostat before, but it's almost like, like a cup. If you're looking at a cup and you're filling it full of water, eventually it's going to overflow. So to increase your cup size and take on board more opportunities, take on board more water and become more successful and increase your wealth thermostat, you need to self-educate. And that's what these type of events are about. We all know that Warren Buffett reads for 5 or 6 hours a day still, and Bill Gates reads about 50 odd books a year. It's all about self-education, expanding your mindset so you can look at opportunities and take further advantage of that. So they're the 3 big things I took away, and a lot of our clients took away. Such a successful event. And look, it speaks for itself. We've already got 35% of our clients booked in for next year's Wealth Retreat. If this is something that interests you, I'd highly recommend considering it. It's one of the things that got me to the next level as an investor. It's the tiny things that add up, and these are the lessons that I learned from our Wealth Retreat this year. Thanks very much.